You're exaggerating. You're giving it much thought. He was just doing his job. In the rare cases where women dare to question the medical staff's mistreatment during labor, these may be some of the answers they get. They are often second guessed and made to feel paranoid or dramatic. Many women go through the obscure practices classified as obstetric violence, which is any practice that threatens women's freedom of choice or body autonomy during labor. It can come in many forms such as denial of a companion or non-consensual medical procedures, and the list goes on. In 2016, the World Health Organization, also named as WHO, conducted a study among 4 countries about how women are treated during labor. Around 2,000 women participated, and about 40% of these women mentioned that they experienced physical or verbal abuse or even discrimination during childbirth in health centers.
طبعا موضوع الخلفة والحمل والكلام ده كله أنا لغياه تماما حاليا.
Regarding giving birth or getting pregnant, I'm totally avoiding it because of my fear towards it. The experience itself made me regret resorting to the medical staff to deliver my baby. They took him from me.
المفروض بيبي يبقى في حضني، لا هم خدوه مني.
Ghadir Tariq, who's an obstetric violence survivor, is not the only woman who got either psychological or physical scars after getting through this kind of violence. Tariq suffered greatly because of the tragic experience she's gone through under the name of medical practices.
اوكي هو اتعالج تماما، يعني قولي مثلا شهرين.
My wound took 2 months to start healing, so I would be able to sit down properly. It was done in a wrong way till my anus cavity. It was extremely painful because I could not sit or lay down and I had to lay by my side all the time.
ولا أقعد ولا أفرد جسمي، أنا على طول نايمة على جنبي.
One of Tariq's literal scars was a cut that was done with the wrong angle, which caused her unbearable pain and took her months to heal from. Gynecology resident Nadine Kozum has her insight on unnecessary C-sections as a medical professional.
In 2006, the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists recommended against routine episiotomies to all patients. Instead, episiotomies would be performed only for some emergency cases.
The psychologist and trauma therapist Samira Kanaan sees that the consequence of obstetric violence can be detrimental on the woman's mental health in the future.
And some people sometimes think it's only physical, where they force her to do things like they force her into a C-section without her consent. But we have to also highlight that sometimes she goes through verbal abuse from the caregivers. They degrade her and humiliate her. For example, I knew a lady who once went through this, and she was made fun of and told that she was acting too weak, and that she was not being very responsible. So that's not taking into consideration her emotions, her feelings, and all the roller coaster that she's going through. It's very important to highlight that this does cause a trauma for the women who are birthing, because they end up feeling betrayed. They can have PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, which will manifest as nightmares. They can have anger, depression. They might want to be isolated from people after that.
Tariq is still struggling to get through her mental suffering after being subjected to obstetric violence, which made her willing to give up on being a mother or even have a sexual normal life.
يعني لحد دلوقتي أنا منع موضوع.
Mentally, I refuse to get pregnant again or to trust any doctor again.
دكتور تاني ده يعني استحالة.
Tariq even refuses to seek help from a professional psychiatrist. She lost all her trust in the medical staff.
It sometimes also affects her relationship with her partner, where she starts to have trauma from having an intimate relationship with her husband, where she feels not accepting to the idea of having, another child. So it really affects so many areas of her life. And even the thought of having a baby becomes a trigger to that trauma.
As obstetric violence affects women's relationships with their bodies, survivors struggle to have intimate relationships with their partners.
أنا أصلا كنت مرعوبة إن أنا أعمل كده، إن أنا أخد الخطوة دي
I was very scared to take the step and have a normal sexual life again after what happened because I wasn't even ready that anything gets near this area until very recently. I was traumatized physically and mentally. I was in much pain when I took the step, after I told myself that I have to break this fear once and for all. My sexual life is becoming better somehow by the help of my husband. He was very patient and reassuring and trying to calm me down.
وإنه حاول يطمني شوية، حاول إنه يعني يلغي فكرة الخوف والألم ده بصراحة.
Even having to deal with any medical staff becomes challenging after experiencing obstetric violence.
هو بالنسبة للموضوع ده يعني أنا عارفة إنه مفيش حاجة بعيدة عن ربنا، ويعني أنا لو عاملة احتياطات الدنيا كلها أنا يعني
I know that even with contraceptives, I still can get pregnant. But if this happens, I have no problem to give birth at home instead of experiencing this again.
مرعوبة من اللي ممكن يحصل لدرجة إن أنا قلت إنه لو حصل ما عنديش مانع خالص إن أنا أولد في البيت، يعني إن أنا أكمل فترة حملي وأولد في البيت عادي جدا، بس إن أنا ما أخدش التجربة دي تاني يعني. ومش هضحك عليكي برضو وأقولك إن أنا تخطيت الفكرة أو نسيتها، بالعكس.
I won't lie to you and say that I'm totally over what happened. I still have a baby and he's 7 months old now.
بالعكس يعني أنا بعدله أيامه يعني بس.
Tore is not the only one who has gone through this traumatic experience and certainly is not the last. Obstetric violence is a subtle kind of gender-based violence, and awareness of its effects, psychological and physical, is critical. Copyrights are preserved for the song Inti, composed, written and produced by أقصى الوسط.
انتي